Oh my God, is this the best hobby in the world or what? Are we doing this again tonight?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Somewhere here I have a microphone.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? Oh, it's on the floor. Stripe's been playing with my mic. Denny, Stripe's been playing with the microphone again. Oh, Neal!
Hey, Ken.
Oh my gosh, you came all the way from New Jersey tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I will monitor sound. Steve Mantia, Mike, I'm glad you're here. Daniel tonight is running camera.
Always good to see Daniel.
I'm so happy to have Daniel on the set.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Nice to meet you, too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sorry Joshua can't be by here tonight. I know how bad you wanted to meet him tonight. What great news is his own franchise he's opening up at his location in Arnold. All right, guys, Daniel, give us a countdown, and let's do show number 199 in the best hobby in the world. Ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics, with over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Further support is provided by East Coast Circuits, innovating your model railroad layout. Check out their amazing website at eastcoastcircuits.com. Additional support is provided by Jelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at jelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
This is the What's Neat This Week show in model railroading, show number 199 for June 18th, 2022. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of that What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And yes, Joe Freegate has moved into his new beautiful... He's actually, the house construction's a little bit put off because of the chain of supply.
Right.
I've heard about that.
Right.
He's got temporary quarters right now, but the magazine is doing well. Jeff Schultz and all the compadres that help him, including James, is on board now helping him. James is in Kansas. He'll be here around midnight. He's not going to make it on this show with us tonight, but we look forward to you getting back next week. Actually, it's going to be July 2nd, I think it is, when we do show number 200.
Wow.
So let me, without further ado, do the introductions of the cast that we have this evening. First of all, on this side, I've got my favorite, Mike Budde, who's going to elaborate about some HO scale vehicles this evening that he's been working on. Sitting right next to me, Daniel, I've got Neal Multz. I've spent hours on the phone with you, Neal.
Many hours.
You've got quite a very interesting repertoire with regards to your history in the toy industry, and you have taken all of that experience and brought it into this hobby, whereas you are you are in fact one of the proprietors in East Coast Circuits. And that's the company that made all those amazing fire engines and the various vehicles with the lights that absolutely operate per prototype standards. If you remember last week, we showed Vic's Smith's layout.
All those police.
With all the police cars in this scene that was
really
one of
nice.
Holly's favorite scenes. And you are responsible for the magic that brings us that pleasure. So thank you very much for being on the show with us tonight, Neal.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. And we got to give a big shout out to Sammy and Jorge up in Rhode Island. Those are the guys that make all these lighted vehicles and everything else you're going to see. Those are the guys that make it happen.
That's awesome.
Made in USA.
Made in the USA.
That's awesome.
On the end of the table over here, we've got our favorite Steve Mantia. You'll remember Steve. He produces the train show that we all have talked about and has done very well. And you've got another one coming up, don't you?
Another one in December.
In December.
and
I know
so-
that's going to be here before you know it.
Oh, I
Because
know.
me and Neal have been talking for almost 6 months, and all of a sudden here you are, Shazam, right?
Time
Yeah.
flies.
Like
yes,
that.
It does. Boom. It
Abracadabra.
goes
Yeah.
by.
And
It
you've
really
got a
does.
lot of interesting antiques to talk about that you
Yes.
made a purchase.
Yes, I had a adventure. It's been a very good week with different things that I've picked up, and I just brought some different things to show in that. So.
And if you have a loved one or know of anybody in the hobby that wants to sell their entire collection, Steve Mantia is your to-go source for that. He buys trains. I met him on my road one day about 3 years ago when I tailgated him down the road. I was literally a couple of feet behind his truck, and he was wondering, who the hell is this guy? It's like, it was kind of awkward, you might say.
Yes, it was.
But it was a great introduction because I told you that after you and I met, it would be very, very good for both of us. And it has turned out to be just that, in that your wonderful wife, Glenda, and yourself and your son, we've become great friends. I've sold you some of my models. You've sold me some of your models.
Yes.
And you've bought some great estates from a lot of the folks that have called in to your phone number on the show.
That is
so
true.
it's just it's kumbaya. Give your phone number for the folks out there in case they want to sell a train collection, Steve.
Okay, my phone number is 314-369-3949. And yes, Ken, I have been blessed with a number of phone calls from the show and that type of stuff, so I always appreciate what you help me expand our expand the hobby in that. So
It's the best hobby in the world because of people just like you, Steve.
thank you
You
very
should
much.
mention the reason you were tailgating him because it says "I buy trains" on the back. of
It
your
does.
true, yes.
He's got Target Electric.
Yes,
Yeah.
what's that?
And in
Everybody
fact, he's
thought
done
you were
some
just-
electrical
you were
work down
doing-
here in the basement for me. Thank you very much.
So
He
it
wired
wasn't-
up the air conditioner in my son's room
We've done
and
some things.
various things. My welding rig outlet on the back porch out here so I can weld. You've done some amazing electrical work for me, but the fact is, when I followed your truck, and I couldn't believe, number one, you advertise in the back of your truck, "I buy trains." I'm like, who is this guy? I had to find out.
Well, that's it. That's why we put the whole decoration on the back of the truck. You know, the electrical business is just the front for the train stuff. So that's when people call up there. I'll just do that. But the trains are most important, and that's where Dad and I started with the fact of wanting to collect and see what we can go with this, and we still do it today of what I can find and that, and there's never a dull moment. That is true.
You're awesome. All right, so last week we had Chris on the show, all the way from Harrogate, Yorkshire, England,
Yeah.
which is where I was born. What an amazing gentleman he was. We took him out after the show and played pool, and he was right. He can play pool. But he's such a genuinely kind person.
Yeah.
I loved his freight cars, and the reader's comments about the European equipment tells me that we should have more guests like Chris on the show sharing his models. Jenny Kirk called me this week and we were trying to set up a time to Skype multiple times. She's busy in England, in the UK, doing various TV shows right now for the British media with regards to model railroading, which is something that we still don't have in this country. We've got the Lego show. I know Fox has taken up that. I see that. But where is the model railroad show in this country? One of the most diverse hobbies in the world. You talk about an experience of education, something that can be taught in the classroom, something that the youth could aspire to, something that all the older gentlemen that we all know that are so good at the hobby, including myself and Mike, right? I'm young. But the fact is, it's such a diverse hobby in that you've got architecture, you've got all the various things of geology and the various parts of the country to model. What color is the ballast on the East Coast versus California versus New Mexico? It's something that I had to know very thoroughly when I was doing ads for all the manufacturers, trying to place their various model products in the appropriate scene, getting all the scenes absolutely correct. Today I showed Neal my garage. And I showed him all the various dioramas that are out there of all the different parts of the country, whether it's desert or deciduous scenery, or whether it's the Georgia dirt of the South, or the Las Vegas dirt out west. All the various combinations that lend itself well to a correct serving suggestion that then conveys how accurate a model could look. And I'm telling you what, it's an amazing thing, because all we're trying to do when we create an ad shot for the manufacturers is to get into the imagination of the modeler. Because if you get into that space has no limit on time, and it doesn't have a budget. And if you do it right, it creates the perfect serving suggestion that makes the point of sale at the hobby shop. And that's what this is all about, to help everybody that we work with in this industry prosper. And so far, so good, right, Neal?
Absolutely.
Now, Neal, tell us, you've got some amazing stuff on the table tonight. I want to know why you flew all the way out here to hang out with us.
Well, first of all, we've been talking, like I said, for 6 months on the phone.
Yes.
And we finally came up with enough of an assortment to show you tonight. We've been sending you like the pumper and the hazmat. So tonight, we've got the ambulance. And the ambulance has 24 LEDs on it. It's got on the front headlights. It's got
You want a
the
pencil?
rear headlights. No, you keep asking me about the pencil. The rear headlights, it has the scene lights. And this model just launched is $95. In addition, one of our team members came up with the idea is, how about we put some of these models on a display?
Right?
So we came up with this wood display, and we've built in an on-off switch. And I'm going to turn it around.
Now, these are trade show displays, right?
Yes, and
These
we're
are
going to be
well
we're going to
engineered.
be we're going to be selling these at the shows. We're going to be showing them at the National Train Show this August.
Okay.
There's the button in the back, so and I'll just shut it off and then turn it back on. So let's say you like this vehicle, but you don't have a layout.
Right.
What do you do? So we'll make a display based upon the type of vehicle, and then we'll add
Nice.
the road to it, a little bit of sign, and it'll vary whether it's a fire truck or a police car or a construction vehicle.
That looks
Turn it
amazing.
around.
It is.
Yeah,
Daniel,
it
are
is.
you able to see this on camera clearly? Should we kill the lights down here? Okay.
We'll do that in a minute.
It's a little
Man.
bit bright, but it's all right. I can
Okay.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, you said you might sell one of those displays separately, the one that the ambulance.
We're
on
gonna
for
for
people-
now we're gonna sell a vehicle that we have along with the display.
Okay.
As
As a
one kit,
unit?
and it's all going to be custom order
Right.
because, not everybody likes an ambulance. They may like a fire truck or
Right.
an expedition
Right.
or a police car, whatever. Either East Coast Circuits has, or if a customer has it, because we do a lot of custom installations. So
Okay.
speaking about custom installations, I'm sure you've seen on Ken's show, Sam Dennehy's Ecto One.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've seen that. We've done that for Sam. Thank you very much, Sam, for your support. And we've also done custom lighted vehicles on the Ford Expeditions with deluxe running board lights. And the River Point station's got 38 LEDs. You've got 10 LEDs on each running board. Okay. We've also done it on the River Point station K9 Sheriff pickup.
Yeah.
That's got running board lights as well. And these are all custom installations that we've done for our customers. We've also done an O-scale Amtrak Chevy Tahoe.
Oh man.
And that has probably 40, 50 LEDs on
Boy.
it. Just lost track of it. So those are some of the things that we do for our customers.
Now, the Amtrak Tahoe we just showed was an O scale. Is that right?
Yes, correct. That was an
That's
O-scale.
a beautiful model with great
Yeah.
graphics all the way around.
Very impressive, yes.
Yeah, they did a great job on it. And
It's,
of course,
it's
they're very
1/43rd
nice.
scale.
Yeah,
Actually.
correct.
Yeah, that's a popular modeling scale for automobile models. Besides 1/64th, and the next one up is 1/43rd.
Absolutely.
that.
So-
Yeah.
So what else we got here?
What else we have? So the guys came up with a few ideas. One of them is a set of photographers.
Go ahead and get that tight, Daniel.
Yeah,
Great.
I'll let Daniel get in there.
Now, Mikey, can you go kill those lights over there, that first
Yeah.
switch? That'll kill our monitor right here, but that's okay. Watch this. This is amazing. Check it out.
Yeah.
And the variations that he's going to come out with.
So we're going to do the photographer, as you see him here, and that's going to retail for $16.95. And down the road, we're going to have a rail fan photographer, and that's going to come with a sensor, so as the train passes the sensor on the track, the photographer will start taking pictures.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is great.
And that'll be 1995. And these are all going to be ready at the National Train Show in St. Louis. Stop by and see us. We'll be there.
Nice.
Now, this next thing you're going to talk about, I know is going to be on Vic's layout over
Oh,
here.
I'm sure. Okay, we're going to just, I'll jump over to here. So we've got the traffic barriers, and these here are all lighted. This is going to come in a pack of 6 complete, and that's going to be 1995. And then we're going to have a non-lighted version, 12-pack, for the same price, 1995. Now, all of these barrel barriers, along with the pedestrian barriers, which are going to be in a 16-pack, they're all going to be 1995. They're 3D printed. They're made here in the USA, up in Rhode Island. Now, I'm going to move a little bit further over here, and we've got the Jersey barriers. These are going to be a set of 12, either orange or white, and you can mix them, match them on your layout however you like. And they all interlock. And I know Mike was looking at them earlier
Yeah.
before we started the show, and they all have the ability to be adjustable to any way you like. You can see how Sam made the road on a little bit of a curve.
It's perfect. I can see
Yeah.
Mike building a truck with those on the back of the truck.
Yeah, that's a
Yes,
good
I
idea.
can see that.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I really like those
Yeah, they're
those
very
road
neat.
barrels
That's
there with
yeah,
all the lights.
Yeah.
I can see.
just something else to see on the layout. Just
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything to catch your eye. That just
Right.
the whole thing.
Everything that you see here just enhances
Yes.
the action on
Right.
your layout.
Right.
You know, you go from the custom lighted vehicles, you go to the photographers, you go to the traffic barrel barriers.
Yeah.
All of these just enhance layout. Everybody likes action, like you mentioned on Vic's layout.
Oh my God,
Right.
Vic's layout.
Yes,
The
you want
fire
things-
station with
Yeah.
all the fire
Yeah.
engines in it. In fact, I saw that on your website.
Absolutely.
So you already know Vic.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
awesome.
Absolutely.
We all love him.
So we're going to save the best for last.
Okay.
And showed it to Ken and Steve and Mike and Dan a little bit earlier. We're going to be coming out with a traffic arrow stick.
Oh,
And
this
that's
is
going to be
cool.
brand new, okay? Haven't firmed up the price yet, but it's going to have 7 different patterns on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
An arrow board.
The arrow board.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it an arrow stick.
Okay.
So the proper wording is going to be the arrow traffic advisor.
Okay.
That's what we're going to call it. Yeah. Thank you, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to have 7 different flashing patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and as you saw, left, right, flash per
Right.
center.
Right. Yeah, I towed one of those behind my truck at work a lot
and
of times.
this is going to be our first kit that we've ever launched. So the modeler can put it on either a construction truck,
Right.
put it on a any type of vehicle that he has, a pickup or whatever,
A trailer.
Yeah.
trailer,
A little bit
Telephone
of everything
truck?
that works out.
absolutely,
Yeah.
telephone,
So many things that
Yeah.
work out
absolutely.
for that.
Yeah, you could have a
Right.
field day with it, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I like that.
Yep. And we're shooting to have that released at the National Train Show as well.
The NMRA
So,
National.
Yeah.
Right? August 7th through the...
Through the
14th
12th.
or-
to the 12th, and
Yeah.
then the weekend show at Collinsville over there for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah.
Sunday,
believe it's
which I will
Friday,
be
Saturday.
there. We'll be handing out hats from Jelsma Graphics, and I'll be trying to get my 14 interviews with various manufacturers. And also, I want to introduce this show to a lot of manufacturers that may not know about it, because this is a great way for you to get the word out about new products, and that's something that we pride ourselves in, that we've got the ability to get the word out on stuff just like this tonight being announced for the very first time in the industry within a couple of days' notice, rather than, God bless the model press, but they're
Yeah.
sometimes 2 months behind when it comes to getting the news out. And that's due to printing and deadlines and things like that. It's the way the business has been for years and years. But thanks to the internet and thanks to the immediacy of YouTube, rock and roll, guys. This is why it's the best hobby in the world, with one of the most interesting shows that we produce for you every single week. Thank you very much. So where do I go after that?
We were talking about giving hats away.
We're going to do that in a second, but I want to say that Jennifer Kirk, I've been talking to her this week. We've been trying to Skype for the last 3 days. Her, me, and Holly just wanted to chat about new ideas on getting the youth into the hobby. Like I said, she's doing shows right now. In fact, I got an email tonight that there's a show, something to do with the name Disney involved in this one, and also the Great Model Railroad Challenge shows that she's working on with the various producers out there in the UK. And me and Chris talked about that last week. That in fact, they've got that one show, the Great Model Railroad Challenge, that runs on Channel 5 out there in the UK. But that's something that we very much alluded to that we'd love to bring into this country. And not just this country, but shared among other countries also as well that don't have it. It's a whole nother opportunity to promote this hobby that is more than just running trains. It's an education about so many facets of life: engineering, electronics, geography, scenery, botany. There's no limit to what you can learn in this hobby and lend it to your real life careers. And that's one thing that's amazing about what we do. But talking about Jenny opens up our June What's Neat, which is not out yet at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. It got just a little bit delayed this week. But Jennifer Kirk shows us how to make trees using a new medium that I've never actually seen before. The armatures and the tree branches themselves all put together with the various products that are available from World War Scenics over there in Europe. It's a great way to make scenery products. Another thing that we talk about is the Viper 3D printer that Greg Summerlin from GNL Robotics sent to us to demonstrate on that June show. In fact, it's an amazing machine. I showed on one of the podcasts a deer that we printed for Holly that she's now painted in deer colors, and it looks amazing upstairs in the china cabinet. And the owls, and so many other things that you can print. In fact, the very first thing I ever printed on a 3D printer for a demonstration video on the What's Neat show was in fact one of these highway barrels, because it only took 2.5 minutes to print. It took very, very small amounts of filament, and you could just crank them out all day long. And that's an amazing attribute to your layout when it comes to a scenery idea on your roads. The next thing we've got in that video of June is Dan Scheidel's amazing drone footage in the segment we call Modeling Ideas from Above, because if you make your layout look like the way he shoots his drone footage from about 200 feet high, that's how we view layouts. All the answers are there visually. You've just got to conceptualize and see them. And this month in June, he shares with us the Ketty Y, which is that beautiful location out in California. I mean, what an amazing array of micro-engineering trustles that is, right? And then, of course, Larry Harrington from Bachman Industries in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, shares with us the brand new, I'm going to say it on this show right now, the Hudson locomotive that they're coming out with. That's a pre-announcement that was going to be made, and I just spilled the beans, rock and roll. But it's a beautiful locomotive that only one railroad had in this country, and it's absolutely amazing in HO scale with the TCS WOW sound system that they've put into it. I mean, this is plastic brass all over again. Very much love having Larry share that with us on the What's Neat show. The July What's Neat show I just now finished. In fact, I just finished it 2 days ago and got it uploaded. I made my deadline. My deadline was the 15th, and that was just a couple of days ago. Rock and roll. Vic Smith's City Edge layout is in that. That's the layout where I elaborated and talked about the fact that the police cars from East Coast circuits are on that layout, and also his fire station is loaded up with a lot of pumpers that are flashing all these amazing lights. But there's so much more crime and grime on his layout. Am I describing it right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
I've been trying to get an interview with Vic for going on probably 25 years. And thank you very much to the fact that Mike and my friend Holly helped me talk with Vic and get that amazing interview to expose the work. One of the most amazing cities ever produced in HO scale. Second to none. George Celios did it modeling the 20s and the 30s, and Vic has done it modeling the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Thank you very much, Vic, and we look forward to having you on the show sometime to further expose your passion for the best hobby in the world. Jason Thomas came by here at the studios, and Jason shares with us some ground cover material that he found at Hobby Lobby. It's also available on Amazon, and this is amazing in that it's already complete. All you got to do is cut this material, put it down on your layout in various sections. It's better than fake fur because it's already painted green. great material and a great segment from Jason Thomas in that how to work this material into your layout, into the shoulders of your road, and into the shoulders of the ballast along your main line. It's a great and easy segment. Also in that video, Bachman shares with us another new product, which I'm going to allude to right now, and that is the N-Scale Bachman Amtrak Charger locomotives with TCS wow sound in it.
Wow.
The N-Scalers out there are going to be absolutely amazed by the lights. This matches the HO scale model absolutely dead on. It's absolutely prototypically correct, including the emergency light that flashes red when the locomotive goes into emergency. I was at Mark Twain just this week with Holly, and in fact, right after I picked you up from the airplane, we went up there, didn't we?
Yeah.
And the first thing, one of the gentlemen up there that we alluded to on a previous show that's building the N-Scale and HO scale demo layouts, he asked me, am I going to get my N-Scale layout down here done before he gets the N-Scale layout up there done?
Yeah.
And I told him probably not, and he's offered to come down here and help us actually build this layout and continue that segment for the What's Neat show at Model Road
Very
Hobbies
nice.
magazine,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
we could start running in November, which will be really nice. And so with that, Denny Jelsma asked me to give you this What's Neat
thank you.
This Week hat.
Thank you, Denny.
Right?
Very nice.
And it's
Nice.
the color you wanted.
Yeah.
It's burgundy.
Yeah, works. Thank
And
you.
we're going to be
Looks
giving
good.
out a few hundred of those at the RPM meet and the NMRA National coming up, and it looks good on you, man.
Yeah, it does.
It matches. It looks good with the shirt and
Yeah.
everything. Look at you. You're so stylish.
Style and the
Thank
profile.
you.
Denny Jelsma asked us to talk about the letter I tonight. As I start screen capture, Mike, you and I have already looked at these. Let's start on this segment right now, shall we? As
Well,
1 second goes by, and here we are back to the screen capture. And you told me right away that we would end up seeing Illinois Central Graphics. Is
Right.
that correct?
yes,
And
and
that's what I
Illinois
see.
Terminal.
Illinois
Those
Terminal.
are two local, kind of local railroads.
And these are all graphics
Yes.
that you can have put on a hat, or you can have put on jackets. I mean, check them out here. Even the green style from the 1950s and 1966 Illinois Central, 1936 to 1950, 1966 to 1972, and the various trains that they had, the City of Miami. I mean, it's amazing. Check out the E units here. How beautiful is that on the Illinois Central Miami train? That is so nice. And of course, the one we're all used to is the orange and brown Illinois
Yeah.
Central with those yellow stripes. Again, this can be put on a hat. This can be put on a jacket. And if this is your favorite railroad, why not just have a piece of cloth printed out and frame it and hang it up in your railroad room? With over 3,000 stitches on some of these various graphics, the threads are shiny. It's railroad art done Denny style. I love these, the GP10s. What else do we have here?
Illinois Terminal.
How about that?
Yeah, Indiana Harbor Belt, Iowa Interstate.
I know, and you know what this one
Yeah,
is.
that's the IRT New York City subway.
How do you know
Nice.
about that? Because,
He's
a New Yorker.
from-
right? How cool is that?
That's neat.
Denny also gave us 3 more graphics to talk about tonight, and I will put these on the screen right now as I screen capture them. And that is the Maine Garden Railroad Society layout that they had printed up some jackets for. Metra, the way to really fly. How about
Nice.
that? And the last one here is the Pacific Western Rail Systems, North American Railcar Company, the Saskatchewan. That's
Oh, yeah,
beautiful.
those are nice. I always like those.
That's a graphic that is to die for. I mean, if that's what you like, if you like the grain haulings of that, that is absolutely perfect. And we also got a message in email tonight from the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club.
Right.
And I'm going to run a picture right now of them breaking ground. Look at this. They're all wearing Denny Jelsma apparel. The yellow
Very nice.
jackets, all
Very
the
nice.
shirts.
That's-
As they're
That's
breaking
cool.
ground on their new model railroad building that they're evidently having built out there.
Very nice.
Here's a second shot here of a backhoe doing some digging out there. And they're laying the cement groundwork in this third photograph. The email that I've got says that the Hawkeye Model Railroad is doing a live streaming event Wednesday, June 22nd, which is, I
Right.
guess, next week, from 7 to 9 p.m. That will be on YouTube. You could probably Google it and find that. The URL, I've got it written down here, and I'm not really sure how I can put this on the bottom of the screen. But they're also planning on doing a live open house on Saturday, June 25th as well. And this whole point is to inform the club members and the public out there that they will be moving to a new building a few months from now, located at the Johnson County Fairgrounds in Iowa City, Iowa. So here we are. The hobby is not dying. Here's a club that's actually building a brand new facility to display their work and share the best hobby in the world with adults and the youth alike. Congratulations to all the gentlemen out there. This is an absolutely amazing accomplishment. I so wanted to do this back in the 80s. There was various empty storefronts that we had. And in fact, I explored building a 5,000 square foot layout. I built a model of it. I might be shooting B-roll of it right now because it's still down here in the basement. But this was a layout that I wanted to build that would be the next step from the Midwest Valley Modelers layout, where it would be similar to what we've seen the White Pines Model Railroad Club in Chicago do, and so many other facilities the Colorado Model Railroad Museum do. And we know they spent millions of dollars on their facility. And once I started working the numbers, quite honestly, it was something that was not attainable to me to be able to pull off. I'd have to take on a consortium of donations. I'd literally have to put together a group of investors to do it. And so we just simply stuck with the Midwest Valley Modelers modular layout that we could set up at shows around the country. But hats off to them for having the intuitive way to be able to promote the hobby. Thank you guys. And I so hope that a lot of people watch your live stream and enjoy what you're doing for us.
Very nice.
How do I follow that up, Mike, other than to say, tell me what you brought tonight?
I've finally pretty much finished this truck that I was working on to haul the speeders. And the cab of the truck started out like one of these Real Rides black truck. And then the utility bed is from a classic Metalworks truck, the utility bed and the chassis. I had to lengthen the chassis a little bit. I changed the wheel wells and changed some other things so to haul the speeders. Then the speeder itself is from Yelton Models, and it's a 3D printed part, and it's got a lot of detail on it. And this is a Missouri Pacific speeder. Actually, it's a Fairmont prototype, but I sent him the photograph that I was trying to reproduce with a 72 Chevy truck with this bed and this speeder in it, so he was able to make the 3D print from my photograph, and so it really turned out nice, and I'm real happy with it. So it took me like 3 weeks to finish this one, but I've been doing a lot of other stuff too. So anyway, that's it.
The one thing I think everybody still wants to see you do, which will tie in really well with what James Regier talked about last week with that system of transportation that hung.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. That was
Yeah.
a home run. The video that we showed, the elephant, I mean, come on, the elephant falling off the train. Who does that? But the fact is, the elephant survived. What I didn't show you was a picture of the elephant on the bank of the river after it hit the river. It actually survived. I can't remember the name of it. The critter was fine.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have heard about that. Daniel, I want you to point the camera up to this Amtrak locomotive up behind us here. A gentleman by the name of Don Sweet spent many months putting sound and a radio-controlled system into it. And that is a system called Rail Pro. Now, this is not DCC. A lot of people call it dead rail. But Campbell Rice used it exclusively on his HO scale layout, where he ran his HO scale locomotives with this Rail Pro throttle. And again, dead rail with full sound. It's not DCC, it's more like a radio system where it goes from this straight to the locomotive as long as the locomotive's got power, whether it's through battery like on the Amtrak engine or just off of track power, off of your layout. We're so hoping that we can get Tim Ring, the inventor of this system, to come onto our show. He lives in Indiana, which is about 4.5 hours away. That's a lot closer than how you got here today.
Yeah.
But we'd love to know more about your intuitive system. And I very much thank Don Sweet for actually putting the system into this. We had Campbell Rice here about 6 weeks ago when the locomotive first showed up in the basement, and he ran it on the workbench over there with sound, and it was impressive on 3 feet of track. So imagine how much better it could be with 5 or 6 hours of runtime on the Garden Railroad during the NMRA National Open House that we're going to have that week on Thursday here on the property. It'd be so simple just to run an Amtrak consist rather than run a bunch of Dash 9s and a full-length consist when I can't watch it unless I've got Daniel helping me that day. Are you going to be here that day, Daniel?
Probably.
Probably.
Well, then rock and roll. We can run both of them at the same time. But again, thank you very much to Don Sweet and also to the gentleman from Rail Pro, Tim Ring. We look forward to having you on the show that you can explain the amazing electronic system that's been around for quite a long time in our hobby. But again, I don't know a whole lot about it, and I just wanted to allude to that. Now, another thing that we're doing is, like Neal did with these highway construction barrels, that's 3D printing from G&L Robotics. But G&L Robotics doesn't just sell 3D printers. They also sell robotic lawnmowers, which would be perfect for your garden railroad, which is what we're talking about right now, in that their system runs in the ground wire where it doesn't go beyond any point other than it docks itself, it launches itself, it mows the grass, and then it parks itself again. How amazing is that with in-ground wiring systems that you can mow your entire yard? This is better than having 5 goats. I know they're cute, but why do it when you've got an electronic system that could do it all by itself? Not to mention the amazing 3D printers, whether it's filament printers or resin printers, which James Regier likes a lot. I'm starting to like this filament one because it's really simple, because I can get Holly's grandchildren to actually print things like the owls and the deer and the various things that we've got over there easily without dealing with the chemicals. But again, the resin printers are amazing in themselves. Check them out at gnlroboticsusa.com. They've even got printers where they're designed literally for a system where you can operate it off of your cell phone or your computer and just simply send it to the printer via Wi-Fi in your basement, just like we do when we're printing stuff on our printers in the basement. It's simple as can be. And in fact, some of these printers now are designed where they can monitor and give you feedback on your cell phone if you download the right app. The technology just keeps improving and improving. And there's absolutely nothing you can't design for your model railroad layout and print it off. Again, like James was printing the train system that hangs from the rails up above. I mean, how else could you have done that? You remember his beep that he did. He printed that, and including the gears and the drivetrain for that locomotive.
Yeah.
From scratch, off of a 3D printer. And in fact, Greg Summerlin told me that he's starting to print gears now. There's a lot of gears that aren't available on the market for various locomotives, and they're able to do that fine tune of printing with the resin printers, whereas you can actually print off an entire gear set that will hold up and not crack under the daily use of running a model train. So check out his website one more time at gnlroboticsusa.com. You can call him. His customer service is not just on the phone. He has been on Skype with people so that visually he can explain how to set up your machine if you've got any questions. That's the best customer service in the world. You're not going to get that from a company in China if you buy it off of Amazon. You're just flat out not. gnlroboticsusa.com. Thank you very much, Greg Summerlin, for helping us promote the best hobby in the world. And with that, I want to go all the way over to Steve Mantia, because you've got some amazing things that you have purchased and you haven't talked about tonight. Tell us about some of this beautiful stuff.
Well, I'm going to go back to last weekend, start my story there. We were in Greenville, Illinois. First time we had ever done the American Heritage Railroad train show in that, and again, never had done it before. You were talking about earlier, I was very impressed with the turnout, very impressed with everybody's attitude. It's only an hour away, and there were a lot of youth coming to the train show.
Yes.
Train and tractor, and
to
quote youth, the stroller crowd, and there were just the people here buying things, which, whether it's my table or anybody else's, but it's the same thing of people wanting to buy things that they think are neat, that just like the display here, something that can go on a shelf. It doesn't have to go on it. It's something that somebody thinks is neat and they want to buy it. And there's where this was such a very nice setting that there were just a lot of people looking, and they were all happy to see trains. Just to talk about, there's such a love for trains, and there's the tractors they have there, that I was truly impressed. It was just nice at the attitude that everybody had. So that's where we were at last week. But so, as my phone calls tend to be, I never know what type of train stuff I'm going to get when somebody calls. And earlier in the week, somebody called up that they had some trains, and basically I was told they were just some larger ones. Well, sometimes people don't know whether large, I never know it's going to be, whether it's O scale or what scale, what thing they're used to in it. So this collection was This collection was more of the standard gauge trains. In there.
Right. Number 1 gauge.
So I
Tin
had
plate.
some tin plate,
plate,
all
yeah.
pre-war,
And this is
all
from
very
your
old.
neck of the woods. That's isn't that
New York
Central?
on there. So I had some Lionel
Yeah.
standard gauge and some the American Flyer, and I mean, with it being the size of it and all metal, it's different condition in that, but it just was something different that jumps out. In that, I tend to like to buy a little bit of everything too, as Glenda
knows.
as Glenda knows, and she lets me do. So I'm very blessed that she lets me buy these things. And then, as we get done buying the trains, he happens to look across the basement, and then they had a lot of railroad paraphernalia, how you'd call it, memorabilia,
yeah.
that type of thing. So I brought over a silver plate. Missouri Pacific, a couple plates that way that were very dirty, and I asked Ken what we should do to clean them, and boom, he cleaned those up.
I just did with silver. That's
Yes,
right.
that
The
was
silver.
it.
That
You
was
just cleaned it
beautiful.
from that standpoint, and then I thought this was neat also. It's St. Louis. I wanted to show Mike, St.
Yeah.
Louis, San
That's a nozzle?
Francisco
Hose
Railroad
nozzle.
nozzle.
For Frisco?
Hose
A Frisco nozzle?
A
Yeah.
Frisco nozzle. And these are the type of things that makes the adventures that we go on neat, because again, this will go home in the basement, in the man cave, whatever you want to call it, and some of the other stuff you picked up. I had some Pullman towels that they had there, so it was very nice with that. And then even today, I picked up a HO collection that I went and was able to buy, and then luckily my son was off, Zachary, today. And
I love Zachary.
I called him up and said, "Hey, Zachary, get the other truck. You've got to help me." And so he helped pack the stuff up and loaded up in the trucks there. So we were very excited with the different things that we've picked up. So it's been one of those busy weeks in that. So
As I recall, sometime around November, December, I helped you haul a narrow gauge HON3 layout out of a basement of a property you bought.
Yes.
And you sold me some Blackstone locomotives and some freight cars.
That is correct,
Which
yes.
I am now selling myself
back the
because
other
I'm
way,
getting
yes.
out of it completely.
That's one of our very favorite stories of when we took the layout apart, is we had to figure out how to get it out of the house.
Right.
And it was one of those that the lady was
She was
happy
so
was going,
patient.
but it was still just the fact that it was still hard for her to move it. And as we go with there was a number of trees on the layout, and ties into the story today that there were a lot of trees on there. And I think he does it more, my dad does it more, because it might aggravate my lovely wife Glenda, but he just wants to collect the trees. Now he has a little bit of anything, but to realize that adventure that you were helping us with, there were a lot of trees that we had to pick up off the floor, and Glenda was down cleaning that. So now, basically, any collection I buy, the main thing, Dad's question is did you bring trees? So
Wow.
we got him today. We had Zachary and I packed up a few boxes about this size with trees and brought him into the house. And I think he said, I think I might have enough trees, which go in a tote underneath his bed. We're getting too much information, but there's the joy with this, is what you bring home that we all get to have fun with in that. So I always appreciate the phone calls and what I can show off here.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, I've been working on the layout down here on the inside. Last Sunday, a week and a half ago, Holly and I actually went out into the backyard and did Daniel's job, and we got the Garden Railroad running for the first time since last June of last year. Actually, it was around July of the RPM meet that we had it running, and I have not run it all year since. And so I showed Holly how to put the track back together, how to repair the deer damage, and the various ties that are broken out. This is Microengineering 2 Code 250 rail that I like to use out there, because the spikes look scale and it lends itself well to photography and videography out there on the Garden Railroad. But rock and roll it runs. So this week I've been working on the indoor layout. I spent all day Wednesday and Thursday vacuuming and dusting and cleaning the track and filing switch points to make sure I have good continuity to be able to get the locomotives to run around the room successfully without shunting, jerking, and otherwise coming uncoupled. And in fact, you really were admiring the Autorack train down here.
I filmed that last night.
And that was from Intermountain out in Longmont, Colorado. And in fact, Intermountain has sent us some freight cars that they would like me to expose on the show. This is a brand new launch of a new product. And with that, I want to share with you some outdoor photography of these absolutely beautiful freight cars that they sent us to share this week. And in fact, these are 6 beautiful N-scale passenger cars, in fact sleepers, starting with the 13 double bedroom sleeper. This is in Pennsylvania Railroad, and it's called the Fleet of Modernism. This car is the Cambria County, and it's a brown car. It's absolutely beautiful. Also, I've got a 13 double bedroom sleeping car. This is New York Central, the 20th Century Limited train. How about that? This is the Westchester Country. This is in shades of gray. The next car is a 442 sleeper car. This is Pennsylvania Railroad. 3 stripes on the side. It's absolutely beautiful, and the name on the side of this car is Imperial Lawn. The next 442 sleeper I've got to show you is this gorgeous Union Pacific Overland Gray. This is a wonderful looking N-scale car. These all have lighting in them, by the way. This is the Imperial Rose. The next one is a Rock Island. This is a Golden State passenger train car that would go into that consist. This is a 442 sleeper car. It's called the Golden Hour. The next one is a double bedroom. This is a 13 double bedroom sleeper car. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus car, number 143. A beautiful car in white with the blue graphics down the side. Again, these cars are available from Intermountain. Find them on their website, and they all have interior lighting. So absolutely beautiful cars. It's absolutely amazing to be able to see these models out in outdoor sunlight. Thank you very much, Intermountain, again, for helping us promote the best hobby in the world. You can find all of these models on the Intermountain website, or you can check the What's Neat Index, because Randy Hook creates a great index where he puts photographs of every model that we present on the show to show you what's new in the hobby, so that you can index them, look at them, and also have a link to the manufacturer's website, and in this case, intermountainrailways.com. Thank you so much, Frank and Ron and all the folks out there in Longmont, again, for helping us promote the best hobby in the world. And so with that, we're going to go around the table one more time, because I think we're coming to the end on this. But Neal, you didn't talk about these 2 amazing fire trucks that are flashing right here. Would you like to elaborate about those? I think you still have those.
Yeah, we still do. Those are the 2 that we sent to you back on the 9/11 weekend that Campbell Rice was raving about. So
yes.
You've got the hazmat truck, which has got 34 LEDs, and the pumper truck has, I think it's 28 LEDs, maybe off an LED or 2. And these are all available, to pre-order. Right now, we're out till the end of August, and we're working diligently to get these out the door. So take a look at our site, and you can pre-order them now. EastCoastCircuits.com is our website, or if you have any other questions, you can email us at eastcoastcircuits@gmail.com.
That's absolutely amazing.
Very impressive.
So now you're going to get to run a train on this layout.
Oh,
You know that?
absolutely. I can't wait.
You're going to run that Autorec train right behind us.
All
In
right.
fact, the one that I got running. And I'm going to put
Absolutely.
this NCE Power Cab, this Pro Cab, in your hands, because this thing is intuitive in that it's got the wheel thumbnail drive for accelerating and slowing down your train. It's also got the push button drive. It's got multiple ways to control your train in the radio system that I've got hooked up in the ceiling down here. So you're not going to lose control, but yet you can run it at the same time that Mike is over there switching that industry with his Frisco locomotives on the back of the layout over here. And we can run so many different trains at the same time on this layout. I've got it connected right now to the 5-amp power supply that NCE in fact sells, and it works very well. The whole thing is intuitive. It's very well thought out. It's one of the best power systems with regards to GCC that I've ever had the privilege and pleasure to be able to work with.
It's a great system.
It truly is that. And so with that, I just want to say, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Click the bell so you get the notifications, and please tell a friend about the What's Neat This Week show that we produce, keeping you informed about all the new products in the hobby, all the wonderful people that are in the hobby, upcoming shows, upcoming events, and I hope that a lot of folks are able to come by and visit here during the NMRA National Convention in St. Louis. And so with that, gentlemen, let's just end this one, the last show of this month that we're going to do, and let's go run some trains. With that, keep camera 1 rolling, and let's do our thumbnail shot. And
Yeah, you can.
Daniel's going to be in this one, and I'm going to hold up this beautiful antique, and we're all going to do a thumbs up and show some teeth. And we're gonna smile, aren't we? Look at
Yeah.
that camera right there and give it to me. Ready? Show some teeth. Is that fun? So keep camera rolling as I make sure I have a good sound file. Good job, Neal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here
great.
and hanging out with us.
Fire hose for
Very,
a train, huh?
I'm gonna
that's
shoot
something.
B-roll of you running that train.
Yeah.
Good job,
That's
Mike.
very impressive.
All right.
Good job tonight.
That's
We got a
very
good
cool.
screen
The
capture.
guys, they do great work up there.
Yes.
They're really gifted, and they come up with amazing ideas.
We have a 46-minute show tonight.
That's why I don't have many lights on it, but what I need to do is find a red van, like the Target We Buy Trains van, to figure out some way to put some little lights and make a little shelf display.
Yeah.
Figure out some way to do something.
Are we still rolling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just on the camera for a little bit.
Yay, Alice!
Makes that
Yay.
that trailer.
Oh, I have a Ford.
Makes an HO scale trailer.
Okay, I have a Ford F-250, E-250 van. We have the thing. It would be something I could figure out how to decorate in light-wise, because that would be a perfect.
Good
I
job,
could do a
Mike. High
perfect
five.
shelf piece. I could take home to Dad. You know, just one of those. Things. Again, you're always talking about neat. But I think shelf displays are such a great
Good job,
idea.
Daniel. Thank you.
Don't have a
Yeah.
layout. You want something to
Oh, absolutely.
show.
Glad you made it.
That's
Come here and give me a hug, Daniel.
amazing. So.
Don't kill it yet. Just give me a hug and thank you. You're
Well,
awesome.
buddy.